I just want to say that Marina Mabre is a bum, and I own her. She shoved me like that was going to change the score. Next time, try guarding me instead of throwing tantrums.
She's averaging 9 assists a game. She's changed the entire tempo of the sport.
J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabre just got hit with the punishment fans were screaming for. Yep, suspensions. And not the light kind either. These are shaking up the whole WNBA. After what went down on the court, punches, shoves, and pure chaos, people weren't sure if they were watching a basketball game or some wild WWE fight night. Now, the league finally stepped in, and let's just say they didn't hold back.
Yeah, it's been physical. It's been physical since its inception.
Eye pokes, body slams, and for way too long, no one was held accountable. Well, not anymore. The game just changed, and some players are finally paying the price.
The league was probably damn near about to fold. They probably can't even make it to the end of the season.
The WNBA knows Caitlin Clark is their meal ticket, the face of the league, and they're not letting two reckless players mess that up. June 18th, 2025, that wasn't just another game. It was madness, pure chaos, and the league finally snapped.
She kind of like hip checked / like pushed Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark fell.
Two names lit the match, J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabre. They're in the eye of the storm after what looked more like an attack than a basketball play, and Caitlin Clark was the target. In a league already drowning in controversy, this moment crossed a line. Fans, players, even officials, they've had enough.
Thank God they get Caitlin Clark. She's injured for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, attendance goes down.
Let's rewind for a second. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's biggest star, had just made her epic return, and it was massive. Over 2.2 million people tuned in on ABC. That made it one of the most watched games in league history. She proved once again she is the reason people show up. But just when it felt like a moment to celebrate, things took a dark turn.
And then in the third quarter, Sheldon poked her in the eye again. This is something we see all the time. They were on each other. They were talking. It was trashy. The superstar like MJ, unstoppable.
Second quarter, tension building. Then, out of nowhere, J.C. Sheldon goes straight for Caitlin's face, a clear eye poke. You could see the scratch. Fans were shocked. Commentators were speechless. But when the refs reviewed it, they downgraded it to a common foul. Yeah, seriously.
The fracas occurred in the fourth quarter, which was, it took, the referees like 10 minutes to decide what to do. They ended up ejecting.
And if that wasn't enough, Mabre escalated things to another level entirely in the fourth quarter.
This is the reason why we haven't seen Caitlin at 100%. We haven't seen her as quick as we saw her last season.
Then came the real hit. After the whistle, Marina Mabre came flying in, full force, and body slammed Caitlin Clark. It wasn't a play. It was a straight-up cheap shot. Clark hit the floor hard. Trainers rushed in. And somehow, Mabre wasn't ejected. Even after a long review, the refs gave her just a technical foul. Fans lost it. Social media exploded. People couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Her being someone who can play really aggressive, hard basketball.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. The WNBA leans hard on Caitlin Clark to keep the spotlight on. Now their biggest star was on the ground, and the league looked powerless to protect her.
WNBA television ratings down more than 50%.
Since Caitlin came back from injury, ratings have shot up, 55% higher than the season average. She's not just a player. She is the reason people are watching. That's what makes the league's silence and failure to protect her even harder to believe. When she was out, ticket sales crashed, viewers tuned out, and now that she's back, they're letting this happen to her.
NBA has been physical. It's been physical since its inception. Like, these women are ball players, and they play the game like ball players play the game. And that requires, at times, being physical.
Now, let's be real. Physicality in sports is part of the game.
Sometimes there are moments where you feel like the physicality is unwarranted.
But this wasn't just rough play. It felt personal. Mabre didn't hit Caitlin in the middle of a scramble. She waited. The ball was dead. Things had cooled off. Then, boom. She slammed into her like it was planned. Clark was already hurting, totally unprotected. And somehow, Mabre wasn't ejected. Let that sink in. The league talks about safety and fairness, right? Well, guess what? The one who got hit stayed in the game. And Clark got slapped with a technical. Yeah, a technician, for getting attacked.
The NBA has to be more serious in protecting one player over other players because of the physicality around how defenders now are with Caitlin Clark.
What makes this all even worse? It's not a one-time thing. Caitlin Clark has been a target all season long. Double teams, elbows, cheap shots. It's like she's being punished for being the best. This isn't just physical play. It feels like payback. And it's not just about this one moment. It's about a league that either can't or won't protect the one player keeping it alive.
How people view Caitlin Clark and whether people view that the WNBA needs to protect Caitlin Clark, the golden goose of a league, as which she is being called.
It looks like the WNBA is finally waking up. They're starting to realize just how powerful Caitlin Clark really is. And let's be real, the future of the entire league might depend on her.
Officials give a tech to Sheldon for poking.
Just hours after the chaos on June 18th, 2025, the league finally snapped. In a rare move, the WNBA hit both JC Sheldon and Marina Mabrey with suspensions. It was bold. And honestly, it proved even the WNBA couldn't pretend this didn't cross the line.
She's number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season.
Caitlin Clark isn't just another player, she's a phenomenon. 2.2 million people showed up just to watch her come back. That game, third highest rated in WNBA history, all because of Clark. She doesn't just play the game, she elevates it. But let's be real, this wasn't just justice. This was the league scrambling for damage control.
Again, we don't know how bad it is.
The WNBA knows one thing for sure. It can't afford to lose the fans Caitlin Clark brings in by the millions. When she was out, ratings tanked, down 55%. It was a loud, clear warning. Without her, the buzz disappears. But the second she returned, everything changed. Arenas started filling up. Merch started flying off shelves. Social media went
Here
wild.
is Clark,
All
wide open, knocks down a triple.
The heartbeat of this league.
Clark runs.
Her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on.
When Caitlin Clark steps on the court, everything changes. Her energy shifts. Her games aren't just events, they're must-watch
Clark,
moments.
step
Fans
back,
pack arenas,
hits a
empty
three.
seats, gone. It's standing room only. That kind of star power isn't normal. It's rare, and the WNBA knows it. Protecting Caitlin isn't just about guarding a player. It's about protecting the league's future.
How much better defense can you play on Caitlin Clark if she is on fire like that? And she was clearly feeling it. She was in the groove.
But the WNBA knows it's walking advantage. Basketball needs fire, grit, intensity. Take that away, and the game loses its soul. But let it go too far, you risk losing your biggest star. The suspensions for JC Sheldon and Marina Mabrey weren't just punishment, they were a win. A signal that the league's finally trying to find balance. Protect Caitlin Clark, but keep the edge that makes fans show up and stay hooked.
This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job.
By finally stepping in, the league isn't just protecting Caitlin, it's protecting its future. The message is loud and clear. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket. And anyone who tries to take her down, on or off the court,
Here's Clark, who lays it in on the other.
It's about time. She's earned the spotlight. Now it's time they put respect on her name.
Did Sophie Cunningham take it a little bit too far? Yeah.
Let's talk about Sophie Cunningham for a second. She's the hero. The WNBA didn't want to beat her, but desperately does.
Be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message.
While everything was breaking down on the court, Sophie Cunningham wasn't having it. She stepped up, full Draymond Green, and defended Caitlin Clark like her own teammates should have. And fans, they noticed. If you want more raw truth, drama, and real talk from inside the WNBA, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and don't forget to ring the bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next.
There was another play where Sophie Cunningham got caught up on a screen. There was contact there, and then that's when Sophie re-injured her ankle.
Let's take a step back for a second. Sophie's stand, just one part of a much bigger picture. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star. She's the center of gravity in the WNBA right now. Her shooting feels like Steph. Her vision on the court, straight out of Magic Johnson's playbook. And that mindset, that cold, locked-in fire, pure Kobe. She's got that Mamba mentality, pushing through every hit, every whistle, every unfair call. And no, this isn't hype. The numbers prove it.
She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability.
Take Caitlin Clark out of the picture, and everything collapses. Games get ignored. Ticket sales crash. Social media goes silent. She's not just a player. She's the WNBA's lifeline. And that's the scary part. No league should rely this heavily on one person, no matter how legendary they are. It's not just risky, it's unsustainable, plain and simple.
Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles.
But here's the real question. What happens if Caitlin Clark finally says, I'm done? She's been targeted nonstop all season. Eye pokes, body slams, cheap shots from every direction. And through it all, she's carried the entire league on her back. So what's her reward? A technical foul for defending herself. Let that sink in.
There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all, that now care because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA.
If the WNBA doesn't step up fast, they're going to lose her. Caitlin Clark has options, and overseas leagues would beg to have her. Not only would they treat her like the superstar she is, they'd probably pay her way more too. The truth? The WNBA can't afford to lose her. But the way they're handling things, it sure doesn't look like they're trying to keep her.
Haul her racist ass back to Russia.
Physicality, grit, hard fouls. That's basketball, right? The WNBA is now pushing back, defending its stance amid the growing outrage around how Caitlin Clark's been treated. They're saying this is just the heat of competition. But at what point does physical cross the line into dangerous?
And, Caitlin Clark is a superstar and she's, bigger than life and all this stuff.
Now let's be real. Fans and commentators are calling out what happened with J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabrey as crossing the line. But here's the tricky part. The league's walking a fine line. Protect your stars without softening the game. Because basketball, it's not a no-contact sport. Never has been. Some of the most legendary moments in both the WNBA and NBA came from rough, physical, no-holds-barred matchups. Think the bad boy Pistons. Think the bruising battles of late 90s WNBA games. This sport was built on grit. So yeah, the hits on Clark were intense. But are they totally outside what happens in high-stakes games? That's where things get complicated.
What the hell is going on with WNBA that they cannot handle all this attention that they're...
The league needs to wake up and diversify its portfolio of stars. Asia Wilson is great. Brianna Stewart, incredible.
Caitlin Clark came out the gates and put up some numbers we've never seen before.
But let's be honest, no one brings the buzz like Caitlin Clark. Not even close. That's the problem. The WNBA can't keep riding on just her. They need more stars, more faces that can fill seats, move merch, and keep fans locked in when Clark's not playing. This isn't just about survival anymore. It's about building something bigger. Clark gave the league momentum. Now it's time they use it to build a stronger, deeper, and more unstoppable product.
This to go to that extreme level where now people are saying just crazy things, because this has been around in the WNBA for a long time. It's a really aggressive sport.
Right now, the fallout from this WNBA mess is unlike anything we've seen before. Social media, exploding. Fans are going off. Firing takes hotter than anything on the court. Brutal. Ban Mabrey. Justice for Clark. All trending. People aren't calling this basketball anymore. They're calling it an assault. And honestly, can you even blame them? The footage speaks for itself. Clark was singled out, hit, and left completely defenseless. It didn't look like defense. It looked like a takedown.
Like the WNBA is afraid to be profitable. If they start making money, maybe the NBA would force them to operate as a separate entity.
The WNBA's fight to earn its place as a major force in sports is far from over. And one thing's clear, it can't afford to mess up moments like this. Women's basketball already battles for visibility, sponsorships, and respect in a crowded sports world. So when the league shrugs off something as blatant as what happened to Caitlin Clark, it doesn't just hurt her. It risks undoing everything the league has worked so hard to build.
This is why the WNBA is never, ever, ever going to work.
Moments like this demand real action. The WNBA can't just react, it has to lead. That means tighter officiating, real consequences for dirty plays, and a clear message. Our players matter. Because if the league keeps letting things like this slide, fans will walk, the trust will break. Women's basketball deserves so much better. And if the WNBA wants to prove it's serious about its mission, its future, and its integrity, now's the time to show it. Anything less is betrayal.
This absolutely ridiculous no space for hate campaign where the WNBA is policing and potentially punishing their fan base, they're essentially booking themselves a first-class ticket on the Bruce Caboose heading straight down the path of bankruptcy.
And now, all eyes are on the WNBA's next move. The suspensions handed to Mabrey and Sheldon, let's be honest, they felt like the bare minimum. This isn't just about punishing two players, it's about drawing a hard line. The league has a choice. Either set a precedent right now or watch the respect it's building start to crumble. Because if they keep playing it safe, they're not just risking fans walking away. They're risking losing their stars. And Caitlin Clark? She's not just a star, she's a phenomenon. She deserves protection, respect, and support from the league she's carrying on her back. Anything less isn't just weak. It's a message to every future icon. You're on your own. But here's the real
Records last year.
What if this isn't over?
Here's
What if there
Caitlin
are
Clark
bigger forces
driving.
behind
She's
this
got the
battle?
first 5
Everyone's
points.
jealous of Clark's rise, power struggles behind closed doors, or even silent agendas trying to humble her spotlight. We've seen the signs, the dirty hits, the silence, the favoritism. So
That's the way to
question
push the ball
is this
in
just about physical
transition.
play, or is it something much deeper? This
Wait.
story's not done. We're digging into every corner of this season, exposing the drama, the truth, and the names the league doesn't want you to hear. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell.
Here in the first
because
quarter,
the next twist is
Caitlin
coming.
Clark
And trust us,
pulls it
you don't want to miss it.